Good evening and warm welcome to today's online money book club discussion. And what we do in the online money book club is we pick up a book, which is usually a theme around women and money. And of course, this is an all women money book club. And the objective of this book club is to help women find it easy and comfortable and find a safe space for them to talk about money. Now, in the book club, we read books on personal finance, investing, habit, and mindset building too, because a large part of how we relate to money, how we can learn this subject when it is brand new to us, also requires that we make some changes, bring about some shift in the way we think, which is that bringing in that mindset shift and develop new habits. And for exactly this reason, we have built a safe space. So if any of you watching me live, you would like to join the Money Book Club, then in the description of this video, you can find the membership form. So just sign up and register and we will reach out to you. This group is on Telegram, where we through the week we bring in insights from the book that we're reading, and then we meet once a week on Fridays 5 p.m. with our women so that we can discuss what we've been reading. So far this month, we have been reading this amazing book by Suze Orman titled Women and Money, which is so apt. And there are many wise pieces of information that we are taking in. And for all the women who have been in the community, it reiterates a lot of the reasons why we have taken charge of our money lives. So yeah, and I welcome Garima, who is here with me to discuss the book. And for everyone else who's watching the live also, please leave your comments on what you find valuable from the discussion, and if you'd like to join the book club. Okay, warm welcome, Garima. How's it going? And how's the reading coming along this week? Hi, Smriti, welcome.
Hi, Sheetal. Sorry, I am a little late. I was just wrapping up a call.
Got that. I'm so glad you are here so that we can discuss the book.
Yes. Hi, everyone else.
Yes, Smriti has joined us too. So how much, of course, we said that we'll read chapters 5 and 6, and we realized that when we started reading chapter 6, that it is pretty huge, So how has the reading been for you this week?
I read only chapter 5, I'll be honest. Chapter 6 I started, but I couldn't kind of complete. Couple of things happened, but that's for a different conversation.
Yes.
But yeah, chapter 5 was, I got stuck up on only one item. And I realized how much it resonated with me, not because it was me, but because I understood it differently. But yeah, I'm still on chapter 5.
Okay, so please share with me and with us. Yeah, what is it that resonated? I'm excited to listen to this.
So, Sheetal, one of the things, and a lot of things, I was happy and proud to say that, when you talk about balance and harmony and, those two items. But when I move forward, I was reading about generosity. There are 8 qualities in the chapter 5 that we talk about, right? That women should have. A lot of things are something which are obvious, but the way we look at it is so different. Right? So for example, I got hung up on generosity because for me, generosity has always been कि हम कितना दे सकते हैं. Okay? But the way she explains that it is not just you giving, you should be able to give happily because there's something that is coming to you back in return. You have to be, and it's not material return, but there has to be a return in the sense that either you are content, you feel happy that you've done something. And that's when I realized that in the previous chapter, when she talks about how much women volunteer, we are generous in volunteering our time
Yeah.
at the cost of our own um, growth.
Mm.
So I was like, "Ki nahi, out of the 8, I think this is one I really have to work on. I really need to."
Okay, so
Yes,
that's with
we
one thing
absolutely
going.
overgive. Yes, Smriti. Bilkul, bilkul. I think we are tuned such, we are brought up such, कि, like we've discussed earlier, we are nurturers. तो हम, and the worst thing is, Sheetal, I realize that when you say no, it is not taken positively that, nahi, she is saying no because she needs to give herself time. That's how our society reacts to women saying no also. So that's where I thought I really need to work on being generous.
Yeah. And there was this interesting coverage in the book around how women even came to giving time, right? Because they were not earning back then, and all they had was, and so that's where the whole idea of volunteering also came, as she
Correct?
touched upon that. That was a take on something that I had never looked at it that way, or my mind couldn't even go that far. So what
Correct.
she threw light on, that where has this all come from according to her and her research observation. So that was really was there,
Correct.
that was something.
Which is why I was happy that, and it's a very light book, Sheetal. So you
Mm,
read, it's not very complicated. And, um, but yeah, I think we need to work on it. I need to work on it, I feel. It's easy to, I always tell my team members that say no if you can't do something, right? Don't commit. And every time I tell them as a feedback, I think about it myself that I'm teaching that to people because I need it the most.
mm. Wow, yes.
So
So,
I,
somebody had to tell that to me, but and I
I
am telling
know,
that to somebody else. Yeah.
right?
Mm.
So, and it's about everything. But I like the fact, that she has also linked, and but in, at least in India, and I'm sure everywhere, you talk about Vastu, you talk about Feng Shui or anything, people talk about cleanliness everywhere. And she has touched upon that so well. Okay, cleanliness is not just about you sweeping the floor, jharu pocha. It is about you keeping things organized. The clutter,
Yes.
it impacts you. So that was the second thing I said. Nahi, this is why the whole concept of cleaning or decluttering has come from.
Hmm.
But I think we, till the time things are not glamorized, we don't look at them.
Yeah, I loved what she said about beauty. Of course, in each quality that she has talked about, so I've highlighted and I would want to share it
Mm.
for everyone. She says, there is nothing more beautiful than a confident woman.
Yes.
When you are confident, you feel secure. And when you feel secure, you have no fear. And when you
Yes.
have no fear, you have the courage to say what you think and feel in a calm and wise way. And when you're calm, you make wise decisions with your money, which then allows you to be truly generous to others as well as yourself, which in turn makes you a happy, powerful, and beautiful woman. I totally love this one as
I
well.
know. And it's beautifully written. I think it resonates with a lot of people.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. And in the meantime, I would also love to welcome Meryl. Hi, Meryl. You're logged in all the way from Goa. Lovely to see
Yeah,
you
Meryl.
here. Bhagya, Seema have also joined us. Thank you guys. And yes, have you guys been reading this book, the last few chapters?
I haven't read the book. I don't even know what the book is, but I just came to listen.
Oh, okay. Then this is one book I think, Meryl, you will absolutely love, is Suze Orman's
Oh,
book,
no.
Women and Money. And this is the second time we've picked it up and we're
Oh,
enjoying
is
it
it?
thoroughly again. Yes, yes, this
Oh,
is the second
Yeah,
time.
I really love Susie Orman and I listen to her podcast every week without fail.
Yes, then
good.
pick up this book too.
It's a very
Definitely.
light read, very, very light. And I always thought, Sheetal, the books, some of the books, of course, are very investment focused or money related here, but this was a very light read.
Mm.
So I think for somebody new to the book club, very good start. I got lucky maybe there.
Yes, thank you so much. But I'm sure you would have thoroughly enjoyed Deep Work too, had you joined
Okay,
us earlier. Yeah,
I will
but
read
pick
it
that. It's
separately.
it's highly
Yeah,
recommended. It's highly
sure.
recommended. Yeah. So Seema, would you like to add something from whatever you've been reading?
Yeah, sure, Sheetal. Yet to reach 5 and 6 less chapters, but I think since yesterday I finished 4 chapters, so very happy because I was missing a lot of other things. I mean, other books. So yeah, couple of things I have written. Oh, okay. Now I realize I have written almost 4 pages. I have kept a book, okay, to make points of about all the books that I read, and yeah, okay. Something what I like the most is um, I'm in control of my financial destiny. This is what she talks about in chapter 3. No shame, no blame. Okay, so
Seema,
and
we
then
can't hear you. Sorry to
okay, just a
interrupt.
minute, just a minute.
Yeah.
Are you okay now? Let me
Yes, much
increase the
better.
volume.
Yes,
How
much
was
better. Thank you.
okay? I think the volume was low. Sorry about it. Okay. So in chapter 3, she says, I'm in control of my financial destiny. This is what we have to say to ourselves. And hiding, and then to that, I have added and handling my financial responsibility gracefully. So this is what I am kind of, if I have to be in control of my financial destiny, I have to handle my responsibility gracefully. When I say gracefully, I mean the fear and the anxiety and I don't know and all those insecurities that we carry within ourselves. So I just added there as a note, handling my financial responsibilities gracefully. Okay, and no more hiding behind excuses, no shame, no blame. Do what's right, not what's easy, is something what I took from chapter 3. And chapter 4, of course, what you are talking about, the volunteer syndrome, the bartering trap. So, of course, I think she has already, Garima has explained about volunteering syndrome, right? So, I completely resonate with that. So, where she mentioned, I had never, I think Sheetal or Garima, one of you. So, where she clearly says why we are kind of volunteering by nature, because we didn't have money that time. We gave time, we gave cookies, we cooked, right? So now, should we still do it, or should we find other way where we save something and then, right? So that's where it is one. And yeah, I had one more point where yeah, you undervalue yourself, world undervalues you, right? So the way you look at it, right? So that is something. And I okay, so maybe I have some more points in the on the during the flow. I will just add. I'm done with chapter 4 so far. 5 to 6, I think I'll be able to cover by tonight. So that's yeah, to reach 5 and 6.
Yes, keep sharing your insights. Thanks so much
Sure,
for
sure.
coming in and sharing, and of course, joining the discussion. Where she talks about if you undervalue yourself, I think the first thought was, okay, there's a value here that we're talking about. I have a value, what is my value? So of course now with whatever we've been doing in the past couple of years through Money Gym and many conversations, we have begun to see that, oh, there's something like my financial worth, my hour is valued a certain way, and how do I increase that value? So we have all those discussions we do, and we have figured out those numbers as well for us. But before this, uh, never ever entertain such a conversation like, oh, I value, there's a certain value that I have, even for my time, had never come to that.
I think, Sheetal, we never negotiated even uh, our packages when we picked up our first job, second job. Whatever was offered, it was like, chalo mil raha hai, eventually that's how. It's only, I think, evolution has happened in the last a decade or so that we have started to ask, I need X percentage of hike, but this is what my terms and conditions are. So bits and pockets were there, but still we need to move ahead.
Or remember that story in the book where she talks about, I think, a friend or a woman, right? Where the friend is furious that she is not given a certain hike. And then it's not at par with what's out in the market, right? And then where she's angry at the boss, but then Susie questions, so are you seriously saying that you did not know, right? And she makes a face that be honest about it, and then she admits that yes, I kind of knew. But she never got out to
Exactly.
never went and talked about it.
Absolutely, we don't. But we have to take the step somewhere. The courage. I think we just get into the comfort zone, Sheetal, right? The fear of, like she mentions, right, and that the fear of somebody losing a job, or the fear of getting divorced, the fear of something else, it holds us back. But the moment you let go of the fear, I think you start asking. So yeah, that's good. But I'm looking forward to chapter 6, Sheetal, because the title interests me, the Save Yourself plan. I think we all need that. And I know as much as Priyanka, you and Hira and others keep emphasizing we need to do that, it is important. So I'm much looking forward to chapter 6. Didn't read it, but just started.
Yes, and thanks to being all of us being here, and some steps we have already taken. We have begun to think about saving ourselves first and taken some actions. Okay, so I would also like to welcome Priya and Saili. Welcome. I know Priya has been reading this, and she's also shared quite a few revelations for herself in the Telegram book club. Priya, what would you like to add?
I don't know what you guys were discussing because I joined a little late, but I was blown away by Suze's personal story. I thought it was mind blowing. I didn't read it last time because I was a bit late, but now I've caught up, and that really, I sort of even read it out to my husband. I told him what her story was, and it was really, really cool, I think. But yeah, I've underlined so many things in the book. My book is like full of lines that are resonating with me. But I think I shared on the group also. And here also, I think for me, the part that she said about the qualities, the cleanliness part, I mean, we all understand what cleanliness is, and we do it everyone keeps their homes clean. But the thing about the clutter and even simply throwing out all the beauty products that go unused, that was such a thing for me, because I was like, I have a lot of things in my cupboard in the bathroom. So what I did after reading this was actually went and cleaned up everything that I wasn't using. And I really liked it. Actually, there were so many perfume bottles that had little bit of perfume left in it, and
Chota tester and everything.
Yeah, but even like proper bottles with just a little bit of it left, and I just kept holding on to all of that. I said, it's done now, leave it, let go. I told my husband I need new perfume bottles, so now these are going away. But that was also really nice to sort of clean up everything, and yeah, I think it was great. And the chapter 6 for me was interesting. It's a huge chapter. I think I've only reached sort of not even finished the first the Save Yourself plan. I'm still on the account section, but I think it's a little more focused on the US, isn't it? Yeah. The checking account, the saving account, and all of that. So I'm still I'm reading it, but I'm still trying to figure how I can apply it in my own context, which is because I live in Sweden. And we don't have those kind of high interest rates here. So I'm just still wondering where can I put my money where I'll get better returns from the saving account. But I think it's such a great book. I'm reading it every day. Like I'm following this rule of reading it at least 15 minutes. And I have 5 books. I'm reading all 5 books 15 minutes. So yeah, but it's really nice. I think this book is super interesting.
Yes. Thanks so much for adding that. And about cleanliness, 2 lines that I have highlighted. The first line where she talks about even the subheading, actually, cleanliness is a state of purity, clarity, and precision. Cleanliness is about respecting the importance of order and organization. When you don't know where your money is, when you have no filing system for your important documents, when you dive into your pocketbook to pull out crumpled bills, when your car looks like a garbage can, when your closets are filled with junk and clutter, I'm sorry, but you cannot possibly be a wealthy woman. Okay, so that was like, okay, I need to really look at some things there. And something else that she said, when you keep things around you that are worthless to you, they end up making you worthless. That's also something that she has said. So all the worthless items which still hang out with us. So that's from this one. Anybody else? Saili, Abha, have you guys been reading anything from your reading that you want to share? I invite you to do that. Or any comments also would be wonderful.
Yeah, so I think I joined the book club pretty late, sometime last week. And I just found out about this book right after I joined. So thankfully, I don't know, whatever reason it may be, I'm glad that I happened to join it now when I just got introduced to this particular book, because it's really such an asset really to have if you are like a voracious book reader. And especially now if you want to sort of figure out your money life and your financial life. So I started reading right away. And I also saw that chapter 5 and 6 was, the chapters that we were going to do this week. So I quickly read through all the 5 chapters. I was reading every day. And I've just started chapter 6. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to the practical, knowledge that she wants to share with her Save Yourself plan. And the first 4-5 chapters that I read, and I, like the one feeling that sort of stayed constant with me throughout the week was like, yeah, this is what, this is the truth, basically. This is something probably I have been feeling and thinking about for the past couple of years. Maybe a lot of us have been, but for some reason we've never practiced it. We've never really implemented this into our lives. We've never really been following it. Somewhere probably in our heads, like whenever she talks about one particular thing in a chapter, I don't really remember the way that she articulated it, but she was talking about dissonance, basically, that you're saying one thing but you're doing another, and you're thinking one thing and feeling another, and all of this. And that's something that we do on a daily basis. And I think that is probably also one of the reasons why our money lives are not really in place, and they're all messier. For that matter, why haven't we reached our goals if we do have goals in the first place? Probably. And the kind of we all have probably dreams of living a particular life, but we aren't there. And why is that so? And that's like one line. So there's another thing that she says, I think in chapter 2, if you show money the respect it deserves today and carry it through in all your actions, then one day when you can no longer take care of it, your money will take care of you. Respecting your relationship with money, you see, is the key, not only to your security and independence, but to your happiness as well. Now, the last line when I read it, and then she goes on further to say the simple fact is that nothing more directly affects your happiness than money. Now, this direct correlation that she's trying to build, of happiness with money is something that probably a lot of us, may have already felt in some ways or the other, but we've never really tried to practice it or follow it, or we probably didn't want to believe it fully, because somewhere there is this this saying that money can't buy you happiness and money can't buy you everything, and all of that jazz that people keep throwing around. It sort of goes to contradict that very thing. And because we are being taught and we've been conditioned to those particular sayings for a long time, I think we have never really believed that we need to have our many lives in place to be able to be happy. We know that we want to be able to keep it in place, but of course we know like all the reasons why it's not being so. But I guess somewhere we've also probably felt the guilt that, okay, if I'm going to talk about money, if I'm going to talk about making more money, if I'm going to ask for more charges, or if I want a raise in the salary, somewhere this particular guilt has always sort of been propping up because of this kind of conditioning that society probably has been doing. And when I read that particular thing, I was like, this is exactly the kind of stuff nobody talks about. This is probably the first time I have heard someone stating so directly and so into the face in such a truthful manner. Like, why haven't anyone else been able to do that? Or why aren't we able to express ourselves in the exact same way? So I think when you read this book, you sort of find the courage, one of the qualities that she talks about in, I think, chapter 5, that why are we now able to maybe take the steps? Why do we want to sort of do the kind of things that we're doing now? Is probably the courage that she talks about in chapter 5. So really, I think we should just thank our stars that we are able to take the right steps in the right directions now. And building a good relationship with money, I think that's the best thing, I guess, that we can do to ourselves. Because I have come to realize that if we don't keep our interests first, then we can never have anyone else's interests. We can never serve anyone else's interests, even if we want to. So the intentions are just not enough, because when you have the intentions, it's just going to make you miserable because you don't have the ability. But when you build a good relationship with money, it will enable you to serve your interests and also the interests of others. So that's what this book is resonating with me a lot, because it's basically just repeating a lot of things that I've been thinking about for the past couple of days, for years for that matter. Thank you, Sheetal. Sorry, I think I just took way too long.
Anyone
Not at all,
wants to
Sayali.
add?
I think thank you so
Yeah.
much. It's all our story, as you mentioned. So it is all our story being put out in a book.
We are the key characters there.
Yes, so true,
Yes.
so true.
Yeah, the
And-
hairstylist, the masseuse, the woman who went for the interview, every one of those women, we are those women.
Yes, very true. And yes, I think it was somebody mentioned earlier, it was Priya or Karima, that her story was really, really remarkable, very, very inspiring, and that is so true. So I think that gives us more hope and inspiration. If someone like her could go through a life like that, and she could turn it around, she could turn her life around, then that really gives me some hope and inspiration, and hopefully to all of us.
Yeah, so true. Yeah, thanks so much for articulating, and much respect to how you just took the book and then you read it and prepared yourself, and you are attending here and sharing with the community, inspiring all of us to continue to pick this book and read. I really loved what you said at the end there about intention and the ability. We may have the intention, but if we don't have the ability, it's even more frustrating, right? And that was, I think, that was really, really beautifully put for me. So thank you so much, Ali.
You're welcome. Thanks for having this book club, really, and thanks for introducing us to this book, Sheetal.
Yes, all because you all exist, and that's why the book club exists. So yes, and so Sneha, hi, welcome. Anyone else would like to add from some of the chapters that you've been reading? Anything else? I've highlighted something from the page on the conversation on courage. This from chapter 5. Oh, by the way, I had a question for everyone. So now that we have all been working on our money lives, here's a question for you. Do you think money can buy happiness?
Yes,
Yes.
I'm going to be very honest. Yes, it can. I mean, if it wasn't for money, if keeping the material things aside, right? Um, you get to travel, you enjoy the travel, it gives you happiness, right? And materially, of course, it does. Like, Priya, you said, all those chotu or big perfume bottles that you can buy, it gives you that joy, that happiness. And so, Sheetal, anyways, when I was going through my separation, there was a lot of people who would ask me that, don't you regret, couple of things. And because I had given myself that time, I realized, and that's why I'm saying, something that gave me joy 2 years ago, I cannot regret that. So if money is allowing me to be happy today, I cannot regret it 2 years down the line. If it's making my life easy, I'm going to be happy. So to me, yes. No two ways
Yes,
about
for
it.
me too. Yes, for me too. Absolute yes.
And Chetal, if it wasn't for money, we wouldn't be connecting, right? I mean, I have come to know you, Priya, Priyanka, Hira, and others. It's because we have a common theme. We want to improve our life, not just money life. We are improving every aspect of it. So money got us together.
So about this money buying happiness, like whether it can or not, it's just a couple of weeks ago, months ago, that I was telling my brother, like, if money couldn't do that, then why are we like always sort of always trying to figure out how do we fix our money lives, how do we earn more money, how do we get the most worth and whatnot. I mean, if that wasn't the case, then we wouldn't be doing all of these things. And now that we're doing it, or we've always wanted to do it, it means that there is a particular reason, a particular purpose what it serves. And definitely happiness could be one of them. Of course, your happiness is not completely dependent on money, but it's a very strong enabler for your happiness. That's something I think I believe. And that's what I sort of kept wondering about. Then where the hell did this quote come from, that money can't buy you happiness? And I was just wondering whether it's some guy who made a lot of money that came up with this particular term, because I mean, why else would anyone even say that? Like, unless you didn't make a lot of money, why would you even come up with that? So I was just wondering if this quote was coined by someone who had already made a lot of money for themselves.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. And Meryl had left a comment here that money is only a tool. Happiness comes from within. People with money can also be unhappy. And to me, before I asked you this question, I was thinking, so there are certain things I value. For example, I value comfort, and true money is a tool. Or if I value even generosity, or I want to, I don't think it's right to say to show my generosity, but what I mean, if I want to help someone financially,
you can only give if you have, basically.
Yes. And so whatever I value in life, money makes many of those things possible, whether it's comfort, whether it's my personal growth, right? To a large extent, if I want to get a certain kind of training, to be better at what I'm doing. So all of those, money is making things possible. So to me, money cannot directly buy happiness, but yes, it is a tool that brings about a lot of other things, which make me fulfilled. So yes, directly money does buy happiness for me too.
There's one more perspective. I was thinking about it, that I mean, yes, money can get you, like you said, comfort, like everyone added. But I also think that being happy also gets you money. It's also the other way. So, you need to be happy to get money. And then when you have money, that also adds to your, general comfort in life, which is, of course, a parameter, a measure of your happiness. So it's both ways. At least I have noticed, I never focused on money so much. In fact, I think I shared in the last meet also that I had blown up my first, I don't know, 15 years or first at least 12 years of my career. I had just blown up all the money I earned every month, buying all kinds of expensive things. But I realized that I was getting so much more because I was investing in my happiness. So, I had really gone in the beginning of my career, I had deeply gone into like spiritual path and, focusing on happiness and, true joy from within. And I realized that gave me a lot. It gave me abundance of money to even spend. Of course, that's a different case that I didn't save any of it at that time, but now I'm saving. But I think that happiness also gets you money, so it's both ways.
Well, at some point, did that, whatever you wanted to pursue at that time, again, did the availability of money make that possible? Right? And as a result, again, we are happy because I'm able to do what I want to do, whatever I want to pursue and what line I want to take. So that's also there, isn't it? Yeah. Well, thanks for bringing that perspective. Thank you so much for adding that. So Garima says that some man created that saying that money can't buy you happiness, to keep women away, women away from money. All right, awesome. So shall we do some bit of reading and then discussing it further? Sally is adding, it's a two-way street. To be happy is also to be content, because money can also bring up vices, greed, and destruction. Yes, and that's when all the
I think
eight
there has to be a
qualities.
fair balance, right? When we say money can buy you happiness, it doesn't mean, there has to be a balance. You can't go and gamble and then say gambling gives me money. You can't abuse somebody else just because you have that monetary power. Right? And that's what it is. So there has to be some harmony. Yes, harmony and balance here.
Harmony is the word. Okay, so do you guys want to read chapter 6? Save yourself plan. I will share. So who'd like to read for the club? Please do put your name in the chat. Okay, just looking for the book. But first, I must organize my screen.
Yes.
Cleanliness, yes. The quality of a wealthy woman.
Then I need to work on my desktop icons.
Me too. My desktop is crazy. Just stuck me. There's so many areas of our life that we need to clean.
Yes, I am a harmonious woman now because I am a wealthy woman. I clean my house because I'm a wealthy woman. That's how it's gonna be now. Okay, 1 second. I am looking at the book. Okay, here it is. Okay, Priya is reading for us first. Okay, wait, this is, okay, so this is a Save Yourself plan. Should we read from the top here?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this view fine, or I need to?
It's okay for me. Just
Single page. Maybe single page is better. Let's see.
Is it too much noise at my side?
Yes, there is some noise, but it's
Some noise.
intermittent. Huh? Garima could read in the meantime.
Sure. Priya, you okay?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. When it comes to money and why we haven't done what we know we should, we can endlessly debate why this and why that until we are all blue in the face. That is so true. We can make sure that you are thinking the right thoughts and saying the right words. But at the end of the day, you have to stop talking and just start doing. Are you still afraid? If you are, that's okay. But there is only one way to conquer fear, and that is through action. That is why I have devised the Save Yourself plan. The Save Yourself plan includes a combination of actions to take as well as concepts and principles to learn. The learning part of the plan is crucial for your long term success. It will equip you with the knowledge you need to act correctly and confidently whenever life presents you with a new financial challenge or choice. I'm not going to ask you to devote hours on end to some exhaustive quest of financial knowledge. The Save Yourself plan focuses solely on the core foundations of personal finance that you must know and take care of. What I'm going to ask you to do and to learn is a pared down version of the advice I have written about in great detail in my previous books. I know that many of you have read those books from cover to cover. The fact that you are reading this book, however, tells me that for whatever reasons you weren't able to act on what you read earlier. That's where the Save Yourself plan comes in. It is written with the assumption that we should begin with the basics and not take anything for granted. Basic definitions and explanations are exactly what you will find here. The Save Yourself plan assumes no prior financial vocabulary or knowledge. We start at the very beginning and we will move forward together from there. The plan is all about simplicity. While I was creating it, I constantly reminded myself to focus on one clear goal. If all you did was X, I would be thrilled. The challenge for me was to make sure that X is everything you need to know and do, but nothing more than what is absolutely essential and achievable. It's sort of like the world of cookbooks. Some cookbooks are too some cookbooks are a great read and you Google the fabulous photos, but the recipes are way too involved, the ingredients too hard to find, and the techniques far too complex for you to ever attempt to actually make any of the dishes. Those books are for the coffee table, not for the kitchen. Then there are other kind of cookbooks, the kind that stay close to the stove. They have the recipes you can easily pull off in a reasonable amount of time. That's what I had in mind when I created the Save Yourself plan. Core financial recipes that are easy to follow and simple to create. The plan is divided into 5 distinct sections with an expectation that you will tackle one section a month. We will spend the first 2 months taking control of spending and basic savings, handling your bank accounts and credit cards, and mastering your FICO credit score. Month 3 is all about retirement investing, including what to do through work and what you need to do on your own. Then we will face up to the critical documents every woman needs to have in place in month 4. Month 5 is all about protection, what you need in life insurance and home insurance to make sure you and your family will be financially secure no matter what life brings. Finally, I will let you know what I expect of you beyond the plan. It is an integrative approach that seeks to make what was once alien to your life a natural part of it for the rest of your life. Given the plan's minimalistic approach, I anticipate there will be moments where some of you may wish I had gone into more detail or discussed a financial topic that is not addressed in these pages. That is why I have built a Save Yourself destination on my website. You can see it. I think we can skip this, no? Because she's talking about her website. At the start of each month, you will see the I would be thrilled box, which provides a quick overview of the financial moves that you will master that month. At the end of each month, you will find the action plan box, which is a to-do list of the powerful moves I want you to take that month. All I ask is that you give me a maximum of 1 full day's time each month, 24 hours in total, to complete the tasks. To complete the tasks I have laid out for that month. One way to look at it is that the time spent will be the equivalent of just 5 days over 5 months. It is completely up to you how you schedule the work. It can be a series of hour-long mini sessions spread throughout the month, or you can choose to designate the better part of few days each month to the task at hand. The 5-month time frame is simply a rational target I'm confident every woman can achieve. Given that I'm asking for a total of about 5 days worth of active time, I imagine some of you will want to complete the Save Yourself plan in just 1 month or 2. That's fine, but don't pressure yourself into rushing through everything. There are no gold stars for speed. What you will learn and do from that plan is the financial foundation for the rest of your life. Take your time to complete the task at a pace that is comfortable for you and ensures that you truly understand everything you are doing. It is very important for you to work your way through the plan in the order in which I present the information. In other words, I want you to read through and follow the action plans in month 1 before launching into month 2, and there is a logical progression built within each month. So please don't skip around. Everything is in its place for a reason. For the best results, I also ask that you not fly past sections you think you don't need to read about because you've already taken care of that topic in your life, or because you have let someone else, a husband, partner, brother, uncle, advisor, take care of it for you. And they assure you that everything is in place. I don't care if Warren Buffett is your financial advisor. Power doesn't come from relying on someone. Power doesn't come from relying on someone else to handle your money. It is created when you and only you take the initiative to learn about your money and to make sure that you have what you need. That's my definition of power. And it is as much about reviewing what you already have as it is about taking new steps to build security. For example, if you have the savings account, I want you to read through what I have to say so that you can make sure you have the best savings account available. And if you have life insurance, don't flip past the life insurance section. I can't tell you how many women assure me that they have life insurance. But once I extract some details, they're shocked to learn they don't have the correct type of life insurance and don't have enough coverage to truly protect themselves and their loved ones. In some instances, I will recommend you to do something solely for yourself, such as setting up a savings account that is in your name only. In other instances, you will need to review a joint investment and financial document with your husband or partner or whomever you have entrusted your financial life to. Make it clear to them that you are not challenging or questioning their choices. This is not about them. It is all about you and your desire to become powerful through understanding whether what you have is indeed what you and they need. In the chapter after the Save Yourself plan, we cover how to create new, healthier financial relationships with those you love. That includes advice on how to navigate taking a more active role in the family finances your spouses or partners have solely been responsible for over the years. Controlling your financial destiny, however, shedding a lifetime of money fear, shame, and confusion is just 5 months away.
Okay, just pausing here to ask if anyone has any insights, any comments on what we've just listened to. Everyone has life insurance. Everyone
No,
has a
I like
savings
what you
bank
said
account.
that, I am responsible. I have done it. Sometimes you blame the bank wala for selling me a policy or the LIC uncle, but it is for me to decide, you know, it's for me to decide whether I want or not.
Yeah, and one of my first learnings from Money Gym was, that I didn't need a life insurance because I didn't have dependents. But if you have a job, the most of the times the insurances are sold to you saying that you need it for tax saving purposes, and then you want to save taxes, and hence, and it's easy, as you can also say, oh wow, it can be utilized at some point, or it is a must have, right? And I totally thought the same until I attended, I think, my first session of Money Gym, where I was asked that are there dependents? Do you have people depending on you for their lives? And I said no. Then I was told, okay, then you don't need a life insurance. So that was one of my initial learnings, and since then I'm clear, right? I don't need one. So anyone else who had been buying because you thought you needed to and not because you have dependents?
So for a long time, if you remember, Sheetal, early on in Money Gym, we talk about, all the type of insurance, be it health or term insurance and all. For a very long time, I was always questioning myself, कि यार term insurance, why do we need it? Health insurance है ना, उसमें death claim होता है and blah 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 होता है. But it was only after, I think, 6 months of attending Money Gym, I realized that no, term insurance is very different. It has nothing to do with tax. It has solely to do with a life I will be able to leave behind for my son in case, God forbid, something should happen to me, right? He's still studying or something like that. So I think that was a learning. So now I'm not taking anything because I have to save tax. I'm taking things because I need them, not because tax save karna hai ya kuch aur, it's a in thing kind of a thing. So, but still a long way to go. I still have the LIC policies. So yeah.
Yes. For me, some of the key learnings, and which I also now share with other women, is that number one, not save taxes just for the sake of saving taxes. Not do, tax saving investment just for the sake of saving taxes, but because you save taxes and it helps you reach your goals. And another mistake a lot of women are still doing outside is that investing just for the sake of investing. But investing should be so that because you have a goal and you want to reach your goal, and then you have the clarity of how much. But many of us, for many of us, sometimes investing becomes a goal, and that's also a mistake. I think a lot of it, it's a good thing to do, but again, just for that sake is not really, it doesn't help us get to where we want to get to, right? Well, just for the sake of investing, to kuch bhi kar lo, fir investment hai, so yeah, got that. Okay, we have 6 minutes to go. Any thoughts, guys? Anything you'd like to share before we complete?
I had two questions actually, just based on what you just mentioned, Sheetal. Like you didn't take insurance because you don't have dependents, but what if things change in the future? Is it something like it's too late to get a life insurance, or is it not? It's never too late to get a life insurance in that case if things change in the future. And my second question is, like I mentioned, this I haven't. I have just sort of read through the initial part of this particular chapter, and there's a lot of practical stuff that's going to come in this particular chapter with the plan. Somebody mentioned earlier that it's more from the US perspective, like how things are done there. So are these things still going to be relevant to us? I mean, yeah, in the broader sense, yes, but to what extent can it be relevant? Like, is it? I mean, if there are no equivalents that we find in our system, is it not going to benefit in the same manner? Like, how do we really read this?
So for me, as I was reading this book again, and we have often come across the same situation where many books we have read are written in the American context. So for example, today when I say, okay, इनका जो Federal Reserve or Fed जो बोलते हैं, then to my mind, okay, this is RBI for us, you know. Then I was thinking between checking and savings account. What we have is savings account. She talks about, I think, checking account being the cash flow wala account, right? That you use that to make your bill payments. One of the two is confusing for me still, but one of the accounts she's saying, and what that is to us, and they might not be equivalents as such, but I see that many of us use, like I use a savings account. Then I have something like then recurring deposit to me is what savings account is to them, because it gives me slightly higher return. So that's the way I understand. But basically, our practical takeaways, at least from reading the first few pages of Save Yourself, is as a single woman or as a married woman, have your own account. That's a practical takeaway, right? So she's talking about all of those. And something new that was something new for me was, even if you're married, then we know we talk about emergency fund and how many months ka basic expenses. Then something new that I took away from this book is, even if you're married, then you have the family emergency fund, but you keep a certain percentage as your own emergency fund. She's talked about that, right? And that was new for me. So these way some principles of how money should be in our lives. So those are practically applicable. Yeah, with the bank accounts and the financial systems, there might be a slight difference that we may experience. So we'll have to sort of think कि हमारे यहाँ पे कहाँ क्या है. So that's what it is. And with regards to the insurance that I said, in my situation, my dad was taking care of my mother's expenses and we were chipping in, but they were not totally dependent on us. So I didn't need, but after my dad passed on, and I could see that how over a period of time, like for medical expenses, my parents had become, or we were taking care of a large part of that. Then after my dad's passing away is when it hit me one day that, oh, now my mother is, sort of dependent on us and we do take care of some of the expenses. Then I started to think of an insurance plan. Should I, although she's not 100% dependent on me yet, then I learned that, oh, mera to ULIP liya hai maine. Once upon a time, I made this mistake of buying a ULIP because I wanted to save taxes that time. And I have continued to pay. And I said, oh, but I don't need to maybe take another insurance because I already have that, right? So yes, when situation changes, then of course, such mistakes can help maybe. But does that answer your question, Sayali? To some extent, did I support there?
Yeah, you did. Thanks a lot for sharing.
You're welcome. So we continue to read chapter 6, right? And I think maybe we keep sharing that whatever is in the book in the American context, how is it playing out in the Indian context? And of course, with what we know out of Money Gym now, I think we are able to draw that comparison as well, right? With some things that we have already implemented. So we can bring in those as well. And many of us are from the community, so we understand as well. And we can contribute to others as well. So should we just stick with chapter 6 then this week?
I think so. It's 5 or 6 chapters.
Okay.
It's like a 5-month plan. So
I know.
we should give it 5 days at least.
Yes, we're crushing it in 5 days. So let's stick to this. I was so happy when I was reading and said, okay, if you already have this, then you can just skip to that segment on savings account. I happily skipped it. I said, okay, yeah, this is already taken care of. So great. So we stick with chapter 6 then for this week. For everyone who is just picking up this book or you have to catch up, please do, but yeah, follow your pace. It's totally fine. It's all interconnected when we discuss, right? So that's what. But thank you all for joining in and for bringing the lovely discussion. I love you all. Keep reading, keep coming. Okay, so take care, keep rocking in your money lives. Lots of love, guys. Happy weekend.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Sheetal.
Thanks.
Have a great
Bye.
weekend, guys. Relax and let's catch up next week.
Yes.